The world doesn't bet on talent, it bets on those who bet on themselves.
Today's guest calls himself your favorite superstar.
Who is that? Who's this so-called favorite superstar?
He's Durban-born, Joburg-based, R&B, soul artist.
I think people will only appreciate the behind the scenes once the product is complete.
From viral taxi rank skits to soulful verses.
Consistency is obviously important, but sitting down and doing research is also important.
Sometimes being kind can be seen as a weakness in a way.
It's okay to be kind. Yeah, when you're being nice, don't expect anything back, but don't let people take advantage of you.
You have to go through those stagnant times to gain the skills, the experience, to get that breakthrough.
People will like it if you're having fun.
When you have an idea, that's the easiest part of it. Bringing that idea from your mind and bringing it into the real world is hard.
I think all of us deep down inside know exactly what to do.
Igama lami, wait, pause. Jemapelle James. Let's cook. Hey, welcome to the latest episode of the C.Cast. It's an absolute pleasure having you here today. Before we get into the next guest, I just want to give you a little bit of an idea of what this podcast is about. We are about connecting creativity and technology to uplift the African continent and connect the world to Africa. What we do is we chat to members of our communities. We give them a platform to share their story and to share how they are connecting Africa to the digital economy and the world to Africa. So before we get into this next guest, if you like our content, I just want to remind you to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below about what you think about the conversation. If you want to get more involved in the community, you can also join the WhatsApp group by scanning the QR code. In this group, we'll be able to share opportunities, knowledge with you, and you'll be able to meet other like-minded people of the community. So yeah, we hope to see you in the group soon. Until then, let's get into the episode.
That was solid. Sorry, bro. Sorry. That was pretty solid, bro.
Let's go. Welcome to the C.Cast, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That was solid.
It's good to have you, bro. So normally on the C.Cast, where we normally start is with the roots, right?
Okay.
And in the intro, we were talking about how you started in Durban.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to find out, going back to the beginning, if we look at that spark, where did that spark come from?
This whole persona that I've entered now.
Right now, you're making fire.
Yeah.
So
I always not to say correct people, but it's actually all started in Richards Bay. I think Durban is where we kind of found each other and whatnot. But it started in Richards Bay, and I'm sure you know by now though. But I mean, for those that don't, it was myself, Verge, and who's currently also doing music, and my other friend Vuyo. And we had this group together. It was a rap group called the Royals, and we didn't take it that serious as of yet. But I think from then we realized that this thing is kind of nice. Yeah, it's fire to do. And then obviously the whole Durban part is where we started getting to know ourselves, what works best for us, what doesn't work best, and whatnot. But even then, at the time, we thought we knew everything, and now that you're in this position that you're in, we don't really know everything. But yeah, it was more so, honestly speaking, more so 2017, which was my first year, and then getting to Joburg in 2021. In that space, that's when I was okay, I think I want to actually do this, you know. Before I wanted to, but I wasn't sure, and it was always just a guess. And then 2021 happened, or 2020, whenever COVID was, whichever year it was, where we were just indoors the whole time. We had nothing else to do. And I made a whole project, of which was rushed. It's not out anymore. But I think through that, realizing that I can actually do it myself. I can record myself. If I can write for myself, I can make beats for myself. What else is stopping me? And 2022 happened. The country opened up, or 2021, whatever it was. And I just never looked back. I wasn't seeking validation from people. I was no, I actually want to do this, you know. So there's no deeper meaning behind it, but I just know that when I decided I wanted to do it, I was flip it. There's go for it, bro. Yeah.
And it's crazy, a lot of time people talk about love in the sense of relationships, right? But when it comes to passion and the things that you're doing, especially in the music space, you kind of have to have a love for it.
Yeah.
And whenever I talk to people about relationships, always like my perception is like love is a choice.
Yeah, followed by
it's not just the
action,
feeling.
right?
Like the feeling is where it starts, right? But that feeling sometimes fades away, you know? Like in the beginning, you make a few songs and you're like, damn, this is exciting. This is something new. And then you realize you put out those songs and then you see, oh, damn, the song got like 1 play, 2 plays. And then at that point, I feel like it has to become a choice, right?
It is. It really is, bro.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. My brother and I talk about it as well. Like, I think the moment I started caring less, I love the craft, obviously. Like, I love the music, like you're saying. And it's obviously become now, like you're saying, a choice followed by an action. But when you care about it too, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, when you care about it too much where it becomes crippling, that's when it's like becomes not fun anymore. But when you just do it out of passion, like you're saying, and not seeking that validation and almost like being happy with what's out, so it kind of resonates with other people as well. So if you're scared to put it out and you put it out, then I believe that people are not sort of feel it in a way. So now everything I'm doing is like, you put it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. On to the next one. It's honestly not the end of the world. Now it's just a catalog that you're constantly building so that when your time does come, people can go back and be like, oh, damn, like Jemapelle James has been at it. You know what I mean? So the love does get tricky. Like you're saying, it does get tricky. But like any other relationship, be it with an animal, like your dog or your pet, be it with a person, be it with books or work or whatnot, it won't always be at 100% because your mood changes. One day you like something, the next day you don't. One day this works and the next day it doesn't. So everything is constantly changing. And hence why I'm saying you just have to make up your mind and just go for it, bro. Like, and that's what I feel like I'm currently doing. So.
Nice. Now, like, so you started out in KZN. KZN is not really known as the best place for making it in the industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what role would you say your hometown played in the development of your craft?
I think more so character development.
Okay.
And I say that because Durban, for me, especially like the friends I hang around with, they will roast you so much, dude. And like roast you to a point where your insecurities become your best trait kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So someone telling me my song is trash doesn't hurt like as much as someone telling me that, I don't know, like you got at that time, like you don't have like proper drip or whatnot, like just little things. I can't make it like a prime example now, but character development, bro, just taking critique, being able to give feedback to someone and taking feedback without taking it personally, understanding that, yo, dude, if I'm saying this, it's out of love, but then also being able to decipher whether it is coming from a good place or not. So also character development, you know, and I mean, I guess people who get roasted quite a lot become funny people, right?
Yeah.
Because you realize it's not
the
that
soul is dead inside at that point. Well, I don't have a funny feeling that Saint Cloud is the guy who is behind this.
I mean,
real ones will know who Saint Cloud is.
We all know. I mean, I would say he is a part of it because there's Tiny as well, his twin. And I think they were well known, especially like when we were growing up, for being like the O's who would roast you. And if you take it serious, then you know that, oh, dude, come on, like relax, you know. I don't think it would be a roast where it becomes, like I mentioned earlier, like crippling or just it's banter. And, you know, sometimes you take it in a bad way, sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, it is out of love. So yeah, they definitely a part of it, dude. Like at their older brother bands as well. I think at some points I really was like not in the best shape, and his brother would always be like, the only workout you're getting is going to the kitchen and coming back. I'm like, damn, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's from a good place. Yeah, I'm really not mad. Like looking back at it, not mad at all.
Bro, is it like a KZN thing to roast people?
To constantly roast people?
Yeah.
I think so, bro. I really think so. And even if it's not a KZN thing, definitely the people I'm around, because my parents will roast me about certain things that,
man,
I swear, dude.
I think intergenerational at this point.
Like, bro, like, and I knew it was quote unquote bad when my first semester in varsity or university, I'd failed the module. But that was also because just university, I'm free. I'm not at home anymore. Oh my God. Came back home, and for me, it was like, yo, guys, like, I failed the module, and they roasted me about it. I'm like, it's not the right time, bro, but you know what I mean? So
the reason why I'm asking, because like I met Verge, and Verge was like, bro, the day I met him, this man was coming here, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it took me so long. So now I'm thinking like, damn, maybe it's a KZN thing, maybe, but like tapping into that like whole chat, right? Because we all come from different places. What might be normal in KZN might not be normal in Joburg. And I feel like you taking that transition phase to leave where you knew was home, come to Joburg to pursue this goal and to get these opportunities. Like there's like a transition phase that you have to go into to kind of get used to this new environment. Like, what would you say has been kind of like the biggest learning that you've had moving from a different city now coming to Jozi?
I don't want to call it the biggest learning. There's obviously a lot of things I have learned, like from being in Durban and being in Johannesburg. I think what I try to find is the common theme within the different cities.
Right.
And for me, I realized that whether you're in Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg, being amongst the people and like getting to know people and networking face to face, like works absolutely the best. And networking could look different from you and to me, like, and I think the most common theme is getting to know people, supporting others, and not only wanting to be supported back.
Yeah.
Being like kind to people, and I know that don't be too nice to people and whatnot, but for me, being kind to people genuinely like works for me, and I don't do it because I want to benefit from it, but I don't lose anything from being nice. I go to bed feeling peaceful. So I think being amongst people, like sort of being a part of something, creates the better environment for everyone else. Hopefully you would assume that everyone's nice, but I don't think I would say I'd try to find common themes amongst the different cities, because once you find that missing element or the common element, it becomes easier,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Jozi also has this like kind of brand of being this place where like you gotta like look over your shoulder and like that like people are taking advantage of you and stuff. Was that something that you gave into Jozi with the mindset of, or is that something that she feels like not really something that you thought about?
I have to think about it, eh?
Because the reason why I'm asking is because I know other people that came from Durban, the people that I know around them, they worried that they are too kind and too like open.
Yeah.
Because like Joburg, bro, people, dude, it's hustle culture this side, bro.
You need it.
People will run over you, So sometimes like being kind can be seen as like a weakness in a way, But
yeah,
I'm to be honest with you, I'm on your side though. I feel like kindness is a strength. Like I feel like when we were talking about it a bit like the other day or earlier on, just how like whenever you go to a new place, if you just like greet the people there at the door, when push comes to shove and now like they're closing and they kicking people out, they're probably gonna give you a little extra time to stick around for a bit longer,
because you're kind to us, so you don't have to be.
You treat the person like a human, right?
Nah, for sure. I think also something that growing up I understand it better now. My dad would always tell me to not be too kind, but I think it was more of like a comprehension thing. I think it was it's okay to be kind, but don't let people take advantage of you, like you're saying. But over time, like you should also, like I mentioned earlier, when you're being nice, don't expect anything back. And that's what for me makes it easier. The looking over the shoulder thing, I definitely, I think it's the one thing people constantly reminded me when I was coming up to Joburg. Like, bro, be careful, bro. Like, be aware. And, outside of just the crime, just the relationships you make, the people you chill with, the things you take, like, like, just be mindful of your space, essentially. So I've had a good experience so far. And when I say good experience, like it could have been worse. That's also my approach now. I've had my phone snatched here, which is
dude, painful.
That's not nice, but All in all, I think I've been blessed to always constantly find myself in good environments. So when people ask me like the bad experiences in Joburg, that's almost little to nothing. Like me getting my phone snatched, I can say, that could have happened in Durban or Cape Town as well. I had my phone out in the street at night. What else was I expecting, you know? But it's also like I don't like focusing on the negative stuff anymore. And they are there, you know, I'm not gonna act oblivious to it. But looking over your shoulder, I don't know, man. I do though, like subconsciously I do, but I wouldn't say it's something I constantly focus on. But I think it's also just how you grew up as well, because it's always been like, dude, be, you know. But yeah, Joburg's been a good place to me so far, or for me so far. I can't really complain, dude. Like,
so you'd recommend someone who might be in another city that wants to kind of pursue the career that you're pursuing to come to Joburg? Say, what would you say to them?
I think not only in my career, I think you need to know what works for you. When I came to Joburg, I'd like the pace of it.
Okay.
I like that we can speak this Friday to link up next Friday. I like that I can hit you up today for a studio session tomorrow. I like that, you know, like things happen quick. It's not always a good thing, but I'm also a fidgety person and I'm thinking of so many ideas sometimes. I can't wait a week to just get an answer back for something, you know what I mean? So I like that about Joburg. Everything's fast. If you're not there, you miss it, you know, catch the next one. If you like a bit of a slower life, then I don't know if Joburg would be the best place. So I wouldn't only say for the music, because I've noticed that, you know, like because of social media as well, you can be anywhere now. You can be anywhere. Just how you're pushing your music out is actually what works out. But Joburg is fun, folks. Yeah, Joburg is a master.
It's a master.
Joburg is fun, though. I would recommend it, though. I would honestly recommend it. Come to Joburg if you want a fast life. And by fast, getting things done in a quick manner, I would say Johannesburg. Opportunities are here. But then again, that's also what's been painted when I was in KZN. So maybe that's why I like it. Could be a subconscious thing.
Top 3 events that you've been to in Joburg besides Come Alive?
I was about to say Come Alive.
Okay, you can put that at number 1.
Come Alive is number 1, bro.
Yo, shout out to Timba and Malak and Sishi and Verge. Tom Zaysad and our old boy.
That's tricky, dude, because now people don't think I'm nuts. I think the weekly touch up by Lunster or Normal. This is specifically in Johannesburg, right?
Yeah.
I don't really go to many events, huh? I don't know.
Could also be spots, you know. Doesn't have.
Could also be spots.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to sound corny. I think the artist, she's pretty solid as well.
Okay.
And then it's all the sides in Brahm side. I think Playground is pretty dope as well, because they have multiple events. And then Strictly Soul.
Yeah.
Strictly Soul. I went there to watch Mikhalé Jones, and I didn't know it was happening like that. So I didn't know they do live events and then just that event. So I went to both events, and I think it was pretty solid, especially as an R&B guy.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid.
Let's talk about that R&B. Like, is there an R&B and hip-hop beef going on in South Africa right now? Like, is that a thing?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I would hope not. Yeah. Or maybe I'm not aware of it. I would hope not. Okay. Why do you say that?
We're starting it here. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, cool. No, because like I kind of get the sense, you know, in the current zeitgeist of where we at in the music space.
Yeah.
You know, Amapiano,
yeah,
Afrobeat, it kind of dominates the space.
Uh-huh.
I feel like before that it was probably hip hop, and then it moved into that space. Do you feel like it's tough being in the R&B space right now, or do you feel like it's the right place to be?
I think, bro, maybe it's because I don't have much knowledge on it. But I don't think any genre is easy though, you know? I just think maybe Amapiano is just having its time and whatnot. But if you look at it from that lens, it is a bit difficult because Right now we're in that phase where people are going out a lot, and when you're out, you don't really want to hear slow stuff. But I would personally say, and it's always like, in my opinion, of course, I'm liking the way it's going. And maybe it's because I think I see where it's going. I really think that 2, 3 more years, or even like 2 years, R&B is definitely gonna like peak again. I think everything's also seasonal. And I've said it before, I just don't want to be the guy who misses that wave when R&B is, I think R&B is perfect where it's at, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's also based on, once you have your following, once you have your people, once you have your audience, that's my goal. Like, find my people, find my little gems, and guys, I'm having a show here, yay! And then guys, I'm having my show here. You know what I mean? So not everything needs to be on a huge scale, and I think that's also why people are saying that R&B is not doing as well as it is. Sometimes R&B people are indoors cooking and making food and just chilling at home at the end of the day, whereas genres that require you to be outside, the people are there to support it outside. So for me, R&B is perfect where it's at, and I say that selfishly because I want to be there when it's up, and it is going to go up. So it's fine where it's at. I wouldn't say they're beefing. I just think it's just, if it is beef, it's made up, like, but I like where it's at, bro. Like, I like where it's at, and I've met some of these R&B like artists that I look up to and have chats with them and whatnot, and I think we share the same sentiments in terms of, bro, just find your people and you'll be grand, you know what I mean? And yeah, dude, I just can't wait till like SA does this R&B Mount Rushmore, and then my face is there, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
So,
it's
I'm like
interesting,
in direction, bro.
Like, I think the pendulum always swings, right?
Mhm.
So
I love that saying, by the way. It just sounds dope. It sounds the way it thingies.
Yeah.
But it is.
The only constant is change, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the music space, what I've seen is like, I mean, you mentioned COVID earlier on, how that was a part of like the spark.
Right.
Made you commit to music. It's interesting that you say that, because I think during that COVID period, we were all locked up, right? So people weren't able to go out. So we were all stuck in home. You were experimenting with new things. You had time to try different things and see what stuck. And then when COVID ended, because we had been locked up for so long, we had our freedoms taken away from us. We got to the space where now we could finally go out again. And it makes sense that Amapiano started popping up after that, because now people want to be out. They want to be experiencing things around other people. And Amapiano is that kind of music where, like, dude, you're going to dance together. Like, you're going to share a certain emotion and feeling when you're listening to that music. It's the kind of thing that you can play in the club that's going to go up. And that brought people to the club. And it makes sense that that happened, because we had that desire to be out and to be grooving, And then I think what's happening now, like the other day I was on social media and I was seeing that there's this new viral trend happening like in other countries where people are now having these like jam sessions at like coffee shops, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like
picnics.
Yeah. Like you'll see people you'll see a DJ pulling up with some decks in a coffee shop, and people are going up there in the coffee shop in the morning, and you're like, what is this? For me, that's the pendulum swinging to the other side, right? And kind of people moving away from like club culture now to something like moving outside of the club, trying to get something different. Because, I think for myself personally, and like I've had a lot of other conversations out with other people out there. I mean, I DJ, I play deep house. That's my vibe. Whenever I play a set, a lot of comments that I get are like, yo, someone actually playing deep house. Like, thank you. And because like the pendulum is always going to swing to the other side. So would you say there's like kind of like a fatigue happening in the Amapiano space that's kind of creating a new gap for something else to kind of fill that space? Because that's what I can kind of see happening.
Yo, I didn't view it in that way. That was actually a good POV. I don't like speaking bad on genres, and I know that's not what you're obviously aiming for. I just think, I don't want to say maybe fatigued. I just think, like any new genre that's being introduced, like if it's new, like be attracted to it, and obviously a lot of people are gonna head over to it. And then once it is not as new anymore, then the core fans stay, or the people like stay. But it's also just now like more people are being catered for as well. So I don't think it's being fatigued. It's just there's a lot of people who like this, and then they like that, because then the Jersey beat starts coming in, and you want to boop, 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 and then you get now soulful like Jersey beats, and then Amapiano comes back again, and now they like soulful and like upbeat, and like so everyone's being catered for. And I think what's just happening is we almost like at this huge festival, and we are going to the Amapiano tent to see what's going on there, and then we come out, and then we go to the R&B tent, and then we stay at the R&B tent because we're like, oh wait, actually guys, and hence why I think when people hear deep house, they're like, oh my gosh, bro, because this genre and this genre has been played so much, I haven't heard deep house in so long. Actually I appreciate it, so it's just attention span as well. And I'm also one of those people. Like, I was also one of the people when Fiona came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. And I made it for a bit, and I was like, don't do that, dude. Like, don't like lose yourself.
At what point could you know that this wasn't the right direction to go?
I mean, I think I made one song and it came out with another song. So when I experiment with music, sometimes my main single will be track 1, and then the experimental song will be track 2. So it's like 2-3 years back. And I would personally say it was a decent song, but I just don't want to blow off a song or genre that I don't want to fully be in, you know what I mean? So yeah, dude, it's not fatigue. It's just people are becoming more creative. People are able to now like have more freedom on social media is the word I'm looking for, sorry. And yes, not everyone is supposed to be in there. Not everyone is supposed to have a podcast, because like, damn, bro, but I would just say we're more liberated to not pick sides in terms of genre. No one is going to bash you for liking hip hop and Amapiano, and then all of a sudden going to a jazz festival, and we're just more free with it, So that's how I see it. But R&B is the best. Is coming. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, I can see it, bro. Like, and I think, like you said earlier, traditionally speaking, people wouldn't picture R&B as something that you'd like go out to see as often. I think Chamomile Live shifted my perspective on that, bro. Dude, that was
I think Chamomile Live. What I realized, because even when you were on, so like I was constantly back and forth, because when you were on, I came to watch it, but I left, and then I came to watch Verge, because I also just had to warm up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what that made me realize is, yes, R&B. I think I did the first R&B mosh pit, dude.
That was lit, bro.
First R&B mosh pit. Yo, Soulja Boy, come at me.
Hey.
But what I realized about that is, you know how like if you do too many sounds, you confuse your audience, kind of thing. But when I was there, like my set obviously always starts slow and ends up, and some of our songs are upbeats and some of our songs are slow. And from what I saw in an engagement of the crowd, they enjoyed it. And that's also what said to me, no, dude, like you don't need to stick to this formula. Yes, there is a formula you need to stick to work, but it doesn't have to be the same all the time. Like, people will like it if you're having fun. If you're enjoying it, people are going to enjoy it. If you like stand in the crowd with the people and be silly, they'll be silly with you. You also dictate how your audience reacts. If you're just always quiet and like calm, then, don't be shy or shocked when you get an audience like that. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, damn, dude, like R&B does have a bright future. Well, not a bright future. R&B does have a space within like the industry. It's just that you also need to have more fun with it. That for me, doesn't always have to be a serious genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't always have to be like
reserved for the bedroom.
You know what I mean? I was about to say it doesn't always have to be heartbreaky until I thought about my whole catalog and heartbreak songs. But
bro, but like being at that event, you wouldn't say that, hey? Like
exactly, bro. It's just, I think what I want to work on though, And that's, you say that, and I appreciate that, but I do want to work on, when I'm doing a sad song, the audience must feel that, because I was trying to be happy the whole time, and it's like, yeah, that's fire and whatnot, but I also saw this TikTok this morning, like this person was like, Drake, if I'm coming to your show, I want you, I paid for you to sing all the songs. You know how he sings? She said, she said, I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. And normally the crowd sings that. And he was like, no, Drake, like, I want you to sing that because I paid you to sing that. Don't make me sing it. And what I'm trying to get to is, just like, your audience is there to have fun with you, not that you're coming to have fun and the audience come to have fun. You have formed a hive or a connection with people, and they're there to not only support you but have fun with you. So if we like change our perspective a bit on it and realize that, like, yes, I might make like a hip hop song tomorrow and my audience might not dig it as much, but those 10 people that like it, you need to cater for them as well, So that's tricky. Still haven't figured it out yet, but
yeah, it's tricky, bro. And I must say though, like, I've been to a few of your performances, and I've seen the improvement. Performances.
Sweet, thank you, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna keep talking about Come Out because there was something special about that day. Like, I saw people were commenting. One of the comments said it meant something, and I was like, "That's the best latest summer was that day," because like there was something there, just the energy, the crowd, the people.
Absolutely.
Like there was something there. It was a spark of something new, and what I know is that like that was the precipice of something that started much earlier. That required. It was like a turning point.
Okay.
Where maybe like things are going like this in a steady line, but then it all of a sudden
it just,
and then it kind of flattens out and jumps a bit.
Right.
Like that's kind of how I've seen growth in my career. Is like you push. Something happens, you have a breakthrough, then things change drastically in a very short period.
Like really quick, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to go through those like stagnant times to gain the skills, the experience, the whatever it is that you need to get that breakthrough.
Right.
And when I look at you performing so well, I know that it comes off the back of some failures and like difficult things that you had to learn along the way. So like throughout your career, like what would you say has been like one of the most rough times when you just got absolutely cooked, bro? Hey, hold on. I just need to remind you very quickly to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below about what you think about this episode. We need to be able to tell the algorithm on YouTube that we are creating content that is valuable. So please engage with this content, whether you're listening to it on YouTube or on Spotify or whatever platform, please engage. It just helps us reach more people, brings more people into the community, which means more access to knowledge and opportunities for you, a member of the community. So please don't forget to engage on this video or this audio podcast and leave a like, comment, or subscribe and give it a share. Thank you so much. We'll hop back into the episode.
Cooked.
Probably.
I would say, funny enough, the year after COVID, when I dropped the project and whatnot, I just think I wasn't also selling myself well enough. Like, and I like to take the blame as well a lot of the times, it's just to realize that it's not always an issue on the outside. But I dropped this project that I'd worked on for, well, in my opinion, for a project with that many songs, I think 9 songs, it shouldn't have taken me just a month to make it, or like 2 months to make it. And I know we're in COVID, but like, I made 13 songs and I took the 9 songs. If I personally feel like with that time, I should have made like 20 songs or have more options to pick from. And I dropped that project. And I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but I was like, yo, bro, this is it, bro. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, we had a listening session for it. People pulled up, and it was really dope. But also I think the reason why I also took it off platforms, because I put it out and then I was like, okay, guys, do the work now. And it's like, how, guys, like, why aren't you sharing the stuff? And at the time, and that's why I say I blame myself. I felt so low because I'm like, shit, but like, is this gonna work? Like, but I'm so dope, dude. Like, this is such a fire song. And instead of pushing the music out, I complain, like, dude, like people aren't streaming the song, bro. They don't like, I don't understand and whatnot. And I wish I could see that happening. I wish I could go back in time and be like, it's so stupid, bro. Because not once did I do any form of, the promo I did was just posting my story, like, yo, stream it, guys. Yo, and then I shared it. I once had a WhatsApp broadcast. Oh my gosh. I had a WhatsApp broadcast.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, if anyone's watching this, if you ever send me a WhatsApp broadcast promoting something, I'm gonna actively not look at it, okay? If it's not provoked.
Oh, bro. I think it works for certain things, bro.
Bro, I definitely like giving me some sort of like free entrance to a party or like a ticket or I don't know, like something for free. But if you just nah, dude.
That was so bad.
I had this one guy that used to send me those. I blocked his ass, bro.
The thing is, they do warn you though. Some people did tell me, bro, take me off that list, bro. I will listen to it when I see it.
Yeah, it just feels like so like listen.
Yo, dude, and I just feel like a lot of the rocking or like the sad dips that I cause it myself, you know. I do understand the external factors as well. But geez, bro, like I think especially with the song now that I have out Still Fam compared to that whole project, if I'd put in the same energy, and I do understand you learn all the time, but it's like, bro, I just wish there was, I don't know what it is. I wish in the moment when you're doing a silly thing, there could be like a quick voice saying, dude, like, don't be stupid. Like, why do you always have to look back and realize how dumb it is? But yeah, bro, after that, it was just.
Yeah. And if you could go back to that version of James and actually talk to him, like, what would you say to him?
No, get the fuck up, nigga. No, I'm joking. Can we swear? Yeah, sorry, I don't swear. My God, bro. I just think, and I've always said this before, like, I think, I just wasn't thinking, dude. I don't know how to explain it, bro. I was very immature and I just thought life was just fun and that's it. And I had no substance in conversations that I was having with people. I think I'll just say, dude, like, focus, bro. Like, you know, I don't have anything deep to say. It's just I realized it's not only because at the time for me it was like music, fun, and whatever relationship I'm in. Yeah. And then this girl that I'm with, she has to support the music. Okay, she likes it, cool. But it's like there's more to it, you know? I love music so much. I really do. But if you're not a holistic person, then you're only nice on the internet until someone meets you in real life. And it's like, you know? So I just wish I would probably tell him to just like focus a bit more. And, you know, I'm not telling him to be the brightest person, of which I still don't think I am, but like, you know, pay more attention to things, you know, attention to detail, like be intentional what you're doing and why you're doing it. Think before you do something. Don't think with emotions. And just because people don't like A, B, and C doesn't mean they're against you. And, you know, just everything is fine, dude. You're a nice person. And yes, you want to like, just think, dude, like, yo.
It's hard, bro. It's hard when you are a creator of something because I always say, when you have an idea, that's the easiest part of it.
Right.
You know, like the best idea, there's a saying that goes out there, like ideas are cheap. And the reason why is because everyone has an idea. That's the easy part. Bringing that idea from your mind and bringing it into the real world is hard. Yeah. Like, it's hard to do that. Now, taking that thing that you've brought in the real world and getting other people to understand it is even harder. And it takes a long time to get that right. So because we live in a world where social media exists, and you're always seeing when people do get it right, you're never going to see when people get it wrong. Like, I can tell you now, there are people that were there, like, around seeing this project flop or whatever happened. And they don't go to bed thinking about that. Like,
yeah, bro. James dropped. For the most part, they probably stopped the track 4. Like, well done, though, dude.
Like, it's not something that's gonna stick in their mind. But what does stick in their mind is the project that means something to them, that speaks to them, that they went to that Chamomile Live and they experienced that feeling of being able to connect with a crowd or connect with an artist that's stuck with them. That night, a lot of people went to bed thinking about that.
Yeah, dude.
And like, you had to go through process to get there. We don't see that process behind the scenes. And that's why we do this podcast, is to open the curtain behind what happens so that someone else who's out there who's going through that phase understands that, like, you're not just going to be everyone's favorite superstar overnight. You know,
bro.
like,
oh, bro, you just have to like shove it down their throats, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yo, shove it down there.
Pause, yo.
Hectic.
Yo, dude, I really do hear what you're saying as well, bro. For me, it's, and I genuinely appreciate the podcast as well. And I think sometimes when I watch the episode, I think the most recent one was Bucky's episode.
Yeah.
I really love that one. Like, I really loved it. And I think I messaged him after as well and asked him about the whole Facebook thing, because I didn't know Facebook was a thing like that. So I'm like, like, and I think outside of the behind the curtains, like, just to derail a bit, like, I really dig the people who are already there, have figured it out, and are just willing to give out information, you know? Like Bucky, for example. I think everything I've asked that guy is just, and his responses, sometimes his responses are so quick to what I want to know. I feel like he hasn't responded until I go back into the chat. I'm like, oh, damn, you know? But yeah, bro, I just don't want to, like, make myself the victim anymore. I think that's what I used to do a lot. And I don't think people, if they don't want to see the behind the scenes, they don't have to, you know, but for the ones that appreciate it, obviously, like a podcast like this, they are able to see it. But it's the results that speak, unfortunately. And that's what corporate has also taught me. Like, you're here because you have a task at hand and it needs to be completed by this day and it needs to be done by so-and-so. And if you're not performing, we're going to have to either scold you or constantly remind you of it. And I think people will only appreciate the behind the scenes, in my opinion, once the product is complete, right? Yes, we get it, James. You are constantly recording songs and you are spending a ton of money mixing it to make it sound A, B, and C, and it's not getting, that's fine, dude. Like, keep doing your thing. Once you can fill up that stadium that you really want to fill up, only then we're going to be like, okay, now let's go watch this series. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just like some Netflix series where you would watch just like a limited series, but you only get one episode this weekend. You kind of wait till all the episodes are there, right? In order to watch all the episodes. So that's how I view it as well. Like, I look at day-to-day things like that, and like Netflix, where I only watch the whole series when all the episodes are there. And people only want to see the behind the scenes once you've finished the final episode of whatever the thing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, it's just, and it's that whole, like, I just don't want to act like the victim anymore. But I did it for so long. And I can truthfully say, I think I snapped out of it like last year, or what is 2025 or 2023? Damn. Like end of 2023, dude, where I also did the podcast with Temba. And I was like to him, actually, dude, you know what? By next year, I'm going to do this and this and this. And I'm going to start like doing TikToks and I'm going to start putting on more music. I'm not going to wait for features and whatnot. And dude, the moment I did that, it started working in my favor. And even though people still don't want to see the behind the scenes as of yet, I know at the end of the day how much effort I put in. So, yeah, dude, like, I even forgot what the question was, but like,
I love the angle that you've taken on that, bro, because you are speaking truth into our journey.
Right.
When I look at the people that we've had on our show, I believe full-heartedly that these people are going to succeed in what they're doing. And they are, bro. Like, Taki, he just recently landed Disney Plus ambassador. So we are all pushing in our respective fields, right? And maybe we don't get a lot of views at this point, but that's not what matters. not everyone's going to understand the journey. It's much easier to hop on the train when the person has got 1 million followers and they are putting out dope content and they are doing brand deals with Disney. Like, of course, you're going to hop on the train at that point. It's much easier.
Yeah.
But the real ones hop on in the beginning. Sure. And you're speaking about like how, you know, not everyone has that curiosity to go and watch the behind the scenes. I honestly believe that the people that do have that curiosity to watch the behind the scenes are the ones that have increased their likelihood of success exponentially compared to the person who doesn't.
Right.
Because you learn from watching stories and hearing the mindsets of those people. And we'll fast forward 5 years, 10 years from now and watch this back and compare to see where we are. Right. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a difference. And there will be someone that watches this conversation 10 years from now that gets something from it. That's why it's important to document it, because like you said, we're busy building the series now.
Yeah.
When that series drops,
I don't know what you do. Because I also think, like, even if you look at, I think it's just unfair sometimes, like the amount of pressure we put on supporters, because and I totally agree, it's just something that also just came up now. Like, we're obviously building this whole thing, but it's just like when you're getting your degree, or like when you, like, no one, you know what I mean? When you're becoming a doctor, those 7 years that you do, I just think you need to back yourself and people will back you back.
Yeah.
My favorite quote is, currently my favorite quote, the world doesn't bet on talent, it bets on those who bet on themselves. And that's what essentially is.
I was having a conversation with some friends last night. We've been talking about how, like, apparently at UCT, there was this girl that used to just jam out by herself for like 4 hours.
Like just
all
alone.
They called her the Jammy Jola.
Crazy.
And she'd just like jam out. She'd have her headphones on and just like
jam the whole time.
Dance, bro. And they were like saying like, her dance moves actually weren't that good, even though she was dancing for so long. And then I was like saying like, was she committed to it? Because I feel like a dance move doesn't have to be good. If you are like fully committed to that dance move, people will go ham. That's what you jump in the middle of the circle and pull it off. You just need to commit to it.
Give off, right?
Exactly, bro. And just to also segue what you're talking about in the last few points, you're speaking a lot about like the results speak for themselves, right? And that's and also like your experience in corporates,
right?
And how like the business side of it, it's like if you're not making money off of what you're doing, it's not sustainable.
Exactly.
It's just not going to work. And I think a lot of people struggle to get that. Like, you know, being an entrepreneur who started, like, I've never worked in corporates. I've only been doing my own business since varsity.
That's so brave, bro. Shout out to you.
It's been hard, but I think it's like, it's given me a certain perspective on things. And what I've realized is like, people that have that perspective understand the sustainability of things. Right. I think it's a lot more difficult to understand the business sustainability of things when you are working the job side of things, because you're just getting the paycheck. Like,
and that's
but that
right?
paycheck comes from somewhere. Like, if you're not making the same amounts of what you've been paid, plus a little bit more, it's not sustainable for you to be in that company. Like, your days in that company are literally numbered. Because at some points, if that's happening like throughout the company in like a widespread way, the company eventually is going to die at some point. So I think a lot of people don't understand that, but like, it's interesting to me that you brought that up. And for me, I think, I don't know, I want to ask you about it, but from what I understand from your journey is like, you've gone independent. You was talking about how you're investing in getting your music mixed and mastered. And that costs money, you know. You have invested in your craft, in your business. Like, that's the way I feel
what it is.
It's literally a business. So you're building a business on the side of you know, the work that you're doing. Like, what has the journey been like being independent?
Goodness, bro. It's good, bro. Like I'm saying, obviously that whole mentality of not trying to complain the whole time, but it is hard, bro. Like, and hard doesn't always mean negative. I just think the amount of hours that I also like put in now into the craft in general sometimes does take a toll, but like, no one cares, bro. Like, in the most respectful way possible. And so the people I complain to is probably my brother and my manager, and then we keep it moving. And not to say I don't want my friends like to hear me complaining, but I'll probably get the same response that I probably would have gotten from Verge. Yo, dude, I'd like, you'll get there, bro. It's the same. So I know the answers. And I always say this, and it's something that I recently like thought of. Like people, when people ask, what should I do? And they ask these motivational speakers and whatnot. I think all of us deep down inside know exactly what to do. When someone complains about being broke at the end of the month, and it may not be for everyone, we all know it's because you're constantly buying that jean and that shoe from whatever shop you're shopping from. And, if you're not like myself, like sometimes when I complain about gaining weight, I'm like, dude, why you're gaining weight, dude? It's not because you're too busy. And if you are too busy, then watch what you're eating kind of thing. So it's difficult, bro. It is tiring. And I think even coming here, I was like, dude, I'm so tired. But it needs to get done, bro. Like, job's not finished. It has to get done. And for me, it's constantly trying to figure out different avenues to push. Like, the main goal is the music. And I always say this. And I'm very grateful for the other stuff, the vlogs and the TikToks. And I'm happy for the people I've met, the experiences I've had. Some of the companies that we work with, which obviously you aren't able to say now until it's officially out. But it's for me, I'm happy because I'm like, yo, dude, you've gone so far into this thing just to get the music up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think what it's taught me as well, like, unfortunately with music, I can't post it every day. And the same song can be posted every day. And, shout out to people that constantly say, yo, dude, the PR for Stole Farm is like, I get that, but it's not like other content where it's a different video every day. So then the engagement is better every day. You know what I mean? So for me, it's difficult. It's hard. It gets me broke so many times. It makes me sad at times. And it like, just like any other artist, like that slight doubt does creep in, but then I then console myself and be like, nope, dude, like, go check your streams out, go check your views out, go check the comments out or your DMs out, and not even in a funny way. I think I get so many people telling me, yo, dude, like, I like this, you're doing so well and whatnot. But I obviously don't constantly chase the validation because then, But to answer your question, bro, I love it.
Nice.
I honestly love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I obviously wish it could happen tomorrow, but I have to accept that there are some choices that I've made which wouldn't allow for it to happen tomorrow, And as toxic as it sounds, and I was telling my friend this other day, I've gotten to a point where I'm obsessed with making music and content, but like, I'm still trying to figure out if it's healthy or not. But
At what point does it become unhealthy, do you think?
I can't always be this tired, dude. You know what I mean? And that's not to say I'm faking it. You're good energy, you're my boy. So obviously I'm happy to be in the space and like have a conversation with you. But if I'm honestly speaking, I drove in here and I had to sit in the car, quickly pull my lips up, check in the mirror, are we all good? And I don't know if I'm supposed to always be this tired,
To be honest with you, I was literally feeling the same way.
You know what I mean?
I was literally feeling the same way. And it's because you're doing so many different things.
At once,
but also, I feel like we're at that point in our lives now where it's just like, you go have a conversation with your friends. You say, oh, how's life? It's fun. What's up? Spun. What's down?
You know,
spun.
Yeah, bro.
What's new? Spun. Like,
it's here, bro. And even at work, bro, like, they don't complain anymore when I come in tired because at least he gets the job done kind of thing. But bro, I go to work, just a general day, wake up, go to work, have to get there by 8, try my very best, get there by 8, finish at 4:30, get stuck in traffic, get to work by 5, 5:15, quickly take a shower, go outside again, do whatever I have to do, content, make music, get to work by 12. Unfortunately, I can't just sleep by 12, so I sleep at like 1-ish. Then I have to be up at 5:30, 6. So then I'm out of the house at 7. just for it to constantly, and then the only free time I get is the weekends, where then I put in more effort because I have more free time, you know? So yeah, dude, I don't know if I'm supposed to be this tired, but I love it. And I sent Timber a message the other day with just all caps. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen, bro. Like, I have no doubts anymore. And I think that's why I'm getting more obsessed with it. And now it's literally a matter of when, bro. Like, I'm so obsessed with it. And I forget to eat sometimes, bro. And like,
bro,
I don't have any issues though. I'm okay, guys.
No,
but did you find to eat?
I literally feel like sometimes like eating is just a chore at this point,
bro.
Like, can I not just have Ripper? I take and
just one time with chicken or like, yo. I swear, even like when after I the water, I forgot that I haven't had water the whole day.
Yeah,
because I had to quickly wake up and obviously do what I told you what I had to do. But it's exciting, Josh.
That's the thing, right? So as much as it's exhausting, it's also liberating.
That's so.
And when you're doing something that's like your thing, that's something that you're investing in, that has that level of freedom, it feels so much more liberating to do that,
bro.
And you have the freedom to decide where to go. Yeah. That's also what I think is like so exciting about like Chamomile, keeping back to that day, bro. Because it felt like the journey, if I can put it that way.
Yes, yeah.
It felt like the journey where like
another stop, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like it was a checkpoint, basically, where like you put in all this grind, and then you reach a checkpoint. Like you mentioned now. There's news coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm so that's coming through.
Oh my day.
Bro, yeah. But like, it's the same thing for us. Like, we also got things that are in the works that we're going to be announcing soon. Yeah. So it just shows the progress. And that's why I love, like, anyone who's watching this, thank you for being a part of this journey, because like, you're seeing these things evolve, and it's important that you see this evolve, because if you can be a part of that journey and see what's possible, you can also do it too. You can tie yourself into the journeys that we speak about here as well.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to like creating content and all of that, and like music, you know, you have your fans, you call them the gems.
The gems.
Like, shout out to the gems.
Some of you guys. Yeah.
A lot of the time, like your music will feel like diary entries. Like it's very personal, and people engage with that, and you know, feel like they're understanding who you are. And I think that's like something that's super special. And then you've also got your content that you put out that, you know, is very like it's in the same kind of category as like Scape. I have to shout out Scape because like I know that like you guys come from similar backgrounds, so that's kind of, you can see how that's like translated into content you put out. How do you marry those two concepts together? How do you balance the vulnerability and the humor?
That's a good question, bro. I don't that's definitely not difficult, I would say. Like you're saying, it's a diary entry, and I think when I do make music, it's normally a personal thing. A lot of the times I'm alone, you know, and I like creating the atmosphere when I'm making a song. Like, Still Fun was recorded in a red room. Not a red room as per se, but the lights were red and whatnot, because it felt to me like a red song. So it's I also don't want to be overly consumed by the art where I end up forgetting like who I truly am. So hence why I always tell people like Jemapelle James is unfortunately a character that I sort of step into, or this persona that I stepped into. But then so when it comes to music, it's just emotions, and I try to be real as possible, and I am real as possible when I can at the time. But at the same time, because it is a lot of time kind of relationship based, as silly as it sounds, like if we're not together and I've just made this song about you, I feel like it's only fair for you to hear it, you know, and like, I think out of respect, the song Still Fun, when I played it for, you know, my partner at the time, it was just, she's just like, yo, it's so honest. Like, it is honest. She was obviously like, damn, dude, you want to expose my daddy issues? Damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the whole TikTok side clicked when I was like, I just don't feel like enough people are hearing me. And there's the organic way where we constantly drop songs and we have to wait for it to come. Or we can just think of another way to like, you know, bring us up. And for me, the idea came about. So I messaged Chubbs or Luvuyo, my manager currently. And I remember it was a random day and he'd been helping me trying to make these skits or these TikToks. And then one day I'm at the office, I'm sitting, and it just clicked to me, like, you know how they always say, just find that one person who's as invested as you are. And like, I was like, wait, dude, this guy, without fail, on a random Saturday, dude, what are you doing? What do you want? What are you thinking of? And we would do it. We'd spend Saturday, Sunday together sometimes. And I was like, dude, actually, can we come together? And we had this meeting at Rosebank by Tasha's. I forgot the name of the restaurant, but it's that cool one, that burger one. So I then messaged Chubbs and said, hey, dude, like, and even in the approach, like I was saying, Jemapelle James is the character of the brand. Obviously, there's a person behind it, so I have to be responsible in what I'm saying and doing. But I was like, dude, can you help me manage this brand? You know, this is what I have in mind for Jemapelle James. I want to be your favorite superstar. I want to be global. I want to do this and this and this. And I said to him, but I don't think this mysterious, like, Jemapelle James cool guy thing is working anymore. Or not to say it was working, but like, it's forced at times. Like, why am I not smiling in photos? And why am I not? So I was like, can we try create something where people are able to see the personality of your favorite superstar, but through that personality, you also see who I really am. And I think through talking that, the initial approach was people need to know I'm a favorite superstar. Then like Chubbs was like, yeah, but who is that? So I was like, damn. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, who is that? Who's this so-called like favorite superstar? Like, why are you all of a sudden my favorite superstar? And we started then jotting down ideas. And initially when we started, of which when I look now, so brave of us, we'd randomly go up to people and be like, yo, man, it's your favorite superstar. And they'd be like, who are you? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it obviously it was the reaction we wanted. And then the second one, we then went to the security guard. I said, yo, dude, please rough me up, bro. Like, I'm going to ask you who I am. And he was so committed to the role. It really hurt, bro.
Oh, he had something that he was trying to get out.
Like, bro, chill, you know? And so the more we did it, we build. And then I met up with Milan in Cape Town and see she was doing something with another brand. I just don't want to mention brands just in case it's, you know what I mean? And I then told him the idea. I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do. And it's going to get to a point where people know me as this favorite superstar or who is this guy. And it works. So every time something works, we're like, cool, next page. So people started coming to me, be like, who are you? Who is this guy? And I'll be like, that's not how it works, dude. You can't come up to me and ask you who it is. But it was like, oh, okay, it's working. Now, remind people that you're their favorite superstar. And then people are like in comments, favorite superstar, favorite superstar, favorite superstar. Then they meet you in public. Hey, favorite superstar. Bet, it's working. Okay, we have the attention. I'm out in public. I'm obviously not this like huge person, but I know that I go out in public and people notice. Okay, bet. Why did we initially do this? For the music. So now I started making the TikToks with the music playing, and I'd make TikToks like, oh my gosh, like something would happen to me and I'd be like, guys, please stream my music or whatnot and whatnot. So for me, like it's two different things. But what I like about my fans or my audience or the people who are supporting me is they understand that, dude, there's the TikTok persona and there's a music persona. You are like a person, and we'll support you when it comes to the music, and we'll support you when it comes to TikTok. Where it gets to a point like, it's funny, but like sometimes people will be like, James, you're so flippin' annoying. Ugh, I'll go stream your song though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so like it's creating this, and I don't know. And I told Chubbs about this. Like, will it affect us in future? Is something we're thinking about, because I'm a huge Justin Bieber fan, and I've noticed how like bad it is like when he's in public now. But we don't have the paparazzi, you know. But I do think the approach we're going at now. Shit, I've been speaking for so long. I'm so sorry, bro.
No, tell us you're dropping.
You know,
Hey.
You know what I mean? And so now I'm at a point where I know I'm not this huge person, but I can sit down and say, okay, there are people watching now and whatnot. And obviously we're at a point, no mistakes, don't do silly things. And not that we were before, but just be more careful of who you're around and, you know, like that type of stuff. And the next step now, I hope Chubbs doesn't kill me. The next step now is obviously now trying to figure out a way to convert the page to be less funny and more music, because that is the goal. But when I say less funny, the content and the personality stays the same, but the goal is to point people in the direction of music and not necessarily in terms of skits,
Yes.
And what I like about TikTok, what it's really taught me is consistency is obviously important, but sitting down and doing research is also important. It's good to have a passion, because we did the TikToks, and then at some point, and I appreciate some of my friends, like, dude, it's becoming the same though. It's like, okay. Because every time I do something, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? How many times can someone say, who are you, So you're constantly trying to find different ways of elevating the content without losing what it originally is. So that's where the research comes in. And for me, I'm actually happy to say that I'm about to become a specialist at something.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, I get to a point where I'm able to say to someone, nah, don't do that because of A, B, and C. Or especially with me, I know my content cannot be longer than 30 seconds. Otherwise, it just bombs. Not because people don't want to watch for 30 seconds. It's just the punchline is not that long, dude. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro, flip, bro. I'm just thinking about it as well now, and it's actually making me so low-key emotional. But it's damn, dude, I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. And yes, we're not where we want to be, and I constantly say that, but in my brain, I am everyone's favorite superstar. I am this global star. And, sometimes people make fun of me, especially at work, no, dude, I haven't cut my hair, dude. I can't come here. Dude, you're not a superstar. I'm like, yeah, but that's what you think. You know what I mean? Or ish guys, you guys are, I don't think that looks good for the image. Dude, you at work, but yeah, but people outside, they don't look at it like that. Or if brands are looking at me, they don't just, oh no, it's okay. He's at a 9 to 5. He can just chill. So yeah, dude, it's just
sounds like you locked
an obsession, bro.
It sounds like you're locked in. And I think that's dope. You mentioned the research side of it. You have to be consistent because that is your research. When you put something out, right, you see what works and what doesn't work. It's your research. So
crazy, dude.
As long as you're locked in, you're focused, and you're putting stuff out there, and you're willing to learn from it, adapt and work on it, you will start to see results. But you got to keep on doing that.
And the thing is, sorry to cut you, I also realized a lot of people, when they see me, I'm on my phone. And a lot of people are always like, dude, you're so addicted to your phone. And there is that element now because of that obsession. But honestly, when I find something funny, I would go watch the video. Then I go read the comments. Then I watch the video again. And then I'm trying to figure out what made this so good. And then I search it and I try to find another video similar to this. And I'm like, it's two of the same videos. Why did this do so well in this one? You know what I mean? So yeah, sorry to cut you. It does become an obsession, and unfortunately do become addicted to this thing called the phone. But once it works out, I want to put my phone down, and people will be like, oh, dude, but why aren't you, Yeah.
Your phone's a tool, man. You
it is.
Use it for good or you can use it for bad. It just depends how you decide to do it. And when it comes to now, you've put in a lot of efforts into getting to the point where you are now, clearly through what you've told us. And you're starting to see the fruits of it, right? Your audience is growing, your streams are jumping, and you're also getting these brand deals. When it comes to the money side of things, you've done paid gigs, you've launched your own shows, you've done streaming, at what moments were you like, this can actually be sustainable? Or is that moment still yet to come?
Still yet to come. I think
so let me rephrase the question then. At what point will you know this is sustainable?
I think that's this. I know I'm long-winding the answer. I think that's what also scares my parents sometimes. They can see how committed I am, but they just, for me, it's not really about, as of yet, obviously I want it to be sustainable, but it's not what I'm looking at right now. Anyways, but to answer your question, I think when it's like any other person, or in my opinion, is when either deals or when my bills can be paid off the same way they're being paid off now, and me not having to worry obviously about the next paycheck, the next meal. sustainability obviously looks different at all times, especially in this industry.
What I really like about what you're doing is you kind of shifting the perspective on what it means to be an artist or creative. Because as someone who's like, I've been around people in the industry for a long time.
Right.
When I first started in our business, there was a luxury lifestyle magazine that we were writing articles for. And through that, you find yourself in like press launches, different events that are like super private. Also through modeling, you find yourself in rooms people that like you see on your TV and like social media, all that kind of stuff. And what you start to realize is like, although someone's driving a BM, like all the time they don't own that BM.
Hey, shit, I have files, dude.
Someone's wearing these clothes a lot of the time.
It's
like,
not there.
Fridge is empty at home, but they're wearing those clothes.
Yeah.
And not to take away from those people and like where they are at that point in time. Like, I think the points that I'm trying to make is that there's a lot more behind the scenes that you don't see. And because we all presenting ourselves in this like way that's like wearing these clothes, driving this car, I'm eating food at these places, whatever, it creates this unrealistic expectation on a lot of the people that are watching that. So when we see, like, you posted a TikTok the other day of you like jumping and the mosh pit at my live, and then it switches to like the normal, like day to day, this is what life actually is. I think it's really good to have content out there because it shifts the perspective in terms of what it means to be a creative. Like,
of course,
it takes time to get where you want to go. And also, like, not everyone's gonna be Justin Bieber. Like, there's only one Justin Bieber in this world,
No, real.
So as long as it shifts, I don't know. For me, it kind of like shifts the goalpost in terms of what you're aiming for. Like the fame, the fortune, all of that stuff's nice. But like, is that really what makes you whole at the end of the day? And I think with social media, our expectations of ourselves have just like kind of shot up,
skyrocketed, right?
Insane amounts to the point where it causes a lot of mental health issues and puts a lot of pressure on ourselves. And the truth of the matter is that if you want to do great things, you need to find a way to focus and be calm and be okay with where you are at. And through what you've been doing and what you've shared now, you've literally shown how that has added so much in your life. I think a lot of people out there need to hear that because a lot of like, we can sit here and confidently say, look, we're not where we want to be. Like, there's so much more that we want to do. And that's okay. And it will probably always be that way. Like, no matter how much success and fame you get, if you're the type of person that wants to like leave an impact or leave a legacy, there's probably not going to be a point where you are comfortable to just say, okay, or maybe there is. Maybe like later on in your life, you'll find a point where you're like, okay, cool, I've done
what I needed to do. Yeah, that's later.
And that's like, that's fine. Like, but I think the point I'm trying to get across is really like that thing of putting pressure on yourself by having this unrealistic expectation. Like, I think our generation, we need to like be better at that. And you've done a good job at like sharing your journey to the point where for me, it like helps me be at peace where I'm at. And and I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, bro. I hear that, and like you were saying, not everyone is going to be Justin Bieber, but
bro, I feel like being Jemapelle James is better than trying to be Justin Bieber, dude.
No, for sure, dude, for sure. I think all the people that like your Justin Biebers, your Elon Musks, your Drakes, and your Jeff Bezos, especially the business guys, every time I hear their stories, like, there's always a period in their life where they're like, yeah, this thing was just unhealthy. Like, I was obsessed and whatnot. And I get that. But, Chubbs and I always said, well, obviously not, I'm obviously going to be the one and only Jemapelle James out there. But I just don't want to ever find myself to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe you've made it though. Like, maybe it's fine. Like, I genuinely, honestly want to be global, bro. I too want to hit up the O2 Arena. Hopefully it doesn't close by the time. I also want to do the O2 Arena. I also want to travel around Europe. I also want to like travel around the country. I also want to be that artist where I come back home and niggas are waiting for me at the airports. And obviously that's not the main goal of it, but that's what I aspire to. I want that. I will get it. I don't know when. I don't know how. But hopefully it doesn't like drive me through.
Bro, you're on the journey to get there,
Yeah,
man.
dude. But it'll happen, bro. And when it happens, oh, dude, also one thing, I know we're probably wrapping it up now. On my vlog, when I was like, yo, dude, like all my friends that aren't supporting me now, like, you know, like obviously it's not verbatim, but I was essentially saying, don't come up to me when things work out. I think your response to that, firstly on the comments, was flipping insane, and then you obviously spoke about it in like the messages. I first read your comments and I was like, this nigga doesn't know what he's talking about, bro. You know, that's what I initially read it at, because I think in the moment I really was upset because there are friends who are not supporting me in any way until a video trends and then they repost. Until someone speaks of a song, until they need a favor, then they, you know, and then like I read your comments again. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, dude. And then we spoke about it in the DMs, and like, shout out to you and thank you for like also just changing that narrative, because I would have wished I would have ran with that narrative or that thought process. So like, yeah, bro, you also cook up, bro. You also have cherries on you, bro. So, and you're doing well as well, bro. Like, I obviously, you know, we in the same industry. I don't think I've watched all the episodes, but I've probably watched more than half. And like, I also see the growth, bro. Like, it's really good from the beginning till now. And I just think, like, in terms of the depth of the conversations that I'm seeing as well, it's very interesting. And like the different type of people you bring on here still gets me like, how the flip did you get that person here? But like, shout out to you too, bro.
I know, I appreciate it. Like I said, our purpose here is to connect Africa to the digital economy and the world to Africa. So like, we believe that in South Africa and Africa as a continent, there's so much talent. And we touched on it earlier when we were talking about like the different genres of music, how Amapiano is now like, you know, it's having a bit of a come down in South Africa. There's other things that are entering this in the South African music space. But if you look at it abroad, people are only just discovering it now. We are the nexus of so much culture, music, food. Like, we have so much to offer this world. And I honestly, like, my thoughts on that is, you know, if we don't dedicate a lot of our energy and time towards sharing that with the world, we would have done this world a great disservice, because there'll be people out there that have never heard Amapiano, have never had a kota. It's our responsibility to share that. And that's a mindset of giving. You don't give to receive. You give because when you give, it feels good, and you get something from giving, you know.
Good point.
So, you know, you've given me that. And trust me, bro, the reason why I left that comment was because just through you being committed, through you dropping like vlogs every week, like I don't have the time to watch everything, right? But just me seeing that, I get something from that. Sure. I get inspired. And it gives me a kick in the butt to keep on going and push harder too. Right. So like, you just by virtue of like what you're doing, you giving, bro. As long as you follow your journey and you follow what your story is, there'll be people that benefit and gain from just watching it or being a part of it. So, you know, I'm happy to be a part of it today. And I'm really happy to have you a part of our journey today by coming on the episode today. I'm happy and grateful to everyone who's watching this. Thank you. Shout out to all the gems that came through to say what's up. And shout out to the C fam. Like, we really appreciate you. And I'm hoping that this episode was able to give you some sort of value through hearing more about your story. But yeah, if you haven't yet, go stream Jemapelle's music. You'll find him on all streaming platforms. And yeah, until the next one, we'll see you on the flip side. We'll see you at the top, bro. Thank you so much for watching this latest episode of the C.Cast. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to achieve a huge mission and we need you to invest in it. The best way to do that is by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and leaving a comment down below. By doing that, you help the algorithm understand that we are offering content that is valuable and it will reach more people. There might also be someone out there that just wants to learn a lesson or who might be able to take something away from the podcast. Share it with them. And lastly, if you'd like to be more involved in the community, if you want access to opportunities, knowledge from our experience in the digital marketing space, or to connect with other people who are like-minded and uplifting the continent, starting businesses and using tech and creativity to make them successful, join the WhatsApp group by scanning the QR code and we'll chat with you there. Until then, bye.